What's going on, everybody? Just doing a quick live stream. Okay, I just did a video on Boyd Gaming. I came out with Boyd Gaming, and I shot a video on Sanofi, the pharmaceutical company. I don't know if you guys follow Sanofi. And I was going to work on Pfizer. I haven't shot the video yet, but just looking into it. Dawood, what's up? Yeah, I think it's been a long time. I haven't been streaming too much. You know, life, that's just how it is. Who's reporting earnings this week? Let's see. Anybody you're looking forward to this week to report? It's the end of the first quarter. Monday, tomorrow is the end of the first quarter. Let's see, on Monday, not familiar with these companies. Let's see, on Tuesday, still not too familiar. Movado, that's the watch company. I believe, yeah, Movado is the watch company. I guess all the bigger, well-known companies have reported earnings, so maybe that's why I don't see anybody too familiar. They're all small. Like Monday, the biggest market cap is $6 billion. Tuesday, the biggest is $3 billion. Macro Bank, they're probably bigger than Micro Bank. Bank Macro is the second largest bank in Argentina. Okay. RH, well, I definitely know RH. Am I thinking about the same company? RH. Yeah, Restoration Hardware. That's what I was thinking about. I thought they were bigger. I guess not. Only 4.5 billion market cap. I would have thought they were bigger. Okay. Let's see. BlackBerry. Okay, BlackBerry. They used to be a big company, right? Not so much anymore. They don't really make phones anymore, BlackBerry. They have like patents, a lot of patents in hardware or software that goes into other companies' phones. I think I did a video on them. I think they were number one in phones sales, back in the year like 99, 2000, 2001. And then, of course, Apple took them over. But they were in good shape to take over the world, but Apple did it. Just shows you don't have to be the first product. You just have to be the best product. And sometimes you don't even need to be the best product. You just need to be the best at marketing your product. Because some companies have better products, better quality, and they don't succeed, which makes that's what makes it hard to be a big conglomerate company like and compete with these $100 billion companies. Conagra, the food manufacturer, that's on Thursday. Conagra Acuity, the software company. So I think all the big players have already released earnings. So Greenbrier, the what's it called? The railway company, Greenbrier. I think somebody at Greenbrier contacted me and wanted me to do a video on their company. It was like an internal thing at the company. He wanted to show it to his team. I'm not sure. I did the video and he paid me, but I'm not sure if he did anything with the video. I have a feeling he didn't do anything because it's it's a railroad company in Oregon. So any companies, any stocks that are trending that you guys want to talk about or look into? Let's see. Redfin, the real estate company, that's pretty active. Grab, the food delivery company, almost 19 billion market cap, pretty big size. Okay, Grab. Intel's pretty active. Broadcom, that's been struggling, right? Broadcom, I think it's down like 50% from the peak. Let's see. I can't tell on that chart. So the peak for Broadcom was 250. That was at the end of 2024. So not that long ago. So just 3 months ago, 3 to 4 months, it was 250. So it's not down 50%. I thought it was probably closer to 40%. 250 to 170. %. It's down 32% from the peak. SoundHound, that's a popular. $3.3 billion market cap. Let's see, SoundHound. Let's see where it's been trading. It looks like it started at a 10. Was that a SPAC? It sound on a SPAC. So it is a SPAC. A SPAC is when a publicly traded shell of a company acquires a private company. So SoundHound was a private company until it was acquired by this SPAC in 2021. It's I'm trying to think of the term. A reverse merger. Am I thinking the right term? Let's see. The peak was 23 at the end of. It looks like the end of 2024 was the peak for a lot of stocks. So it went from 24. So that's down a lot, like 60%. 63% it's down from the peak. So it's trading below its IPO price. It IPO'd at $10, like most SPACs. Let's see. Simply Wall Street does not value the stock. Seven analysts have it at $15. So you can see they did a lot of acquisitions because for revenue to grow from 20 million to 215 million, it's usually acquisitions. It's hard to 10x your revenue in like 3-4 years. Well, this is the forecast though. Okay, the actual revenue is 84 million. So they 4x'd it, which is still hard to do organically, generally through acquisitions. Let's see their investor relations. SoundHound. Is there any? Revenue doubled, almost exactly doubled from 2023 to 2024, 17 to 34 million. 34 million. It's pretty low revenue for a $3.4 billion company. So they're trading out like what, 100 times revenue? And they're obviously running out of loss if they have such small revenue. EBITDA is negative 62 million. Let's see about insider trading. Okay. So as I guess you'd expect, So it looks like starting in mid 2024, this just shows the past 12 months though. Only insider selling, no buying. Well over 1 million insider shares were sold. Because when a company gets acquired by a SPAC, a lot of people at the company own shares. When it was private, they owned a lot of shares of the company. So now that now it's publicly traded, there's more liquidity. There's more access to selling your stock. So a lot of people are going to kind of cash in, and you can't really blame them for that. You can always sell your stock even in a private company, but when you're in a private company, there's not that many people who are going to buy your piece of the company, because it's hard to value a private company unless you're in the industry. You can't just ask regular people to buy shares of the company. They would need a lot of information. But when a company's public, there's a lot of information out there, and then analysts provide their ratings, and then the price, as you know, is just based off of supply and demand. Everything else is irrelevant. Financials, it's all irrelevant. I mean, obviously it ties into the price, but the true price is what people are willing to pay. It doesn't matter what the financials say. I mean, if you're looking at a company and the financials say it's worth $30 and it's trading at $20, then I guess you would buy it if you really think your analysis makes sense. But as you know, a company can be extremely undervalued for forever. Unless, of course, it's a huge success to company. At some point, the stock will go up to match intrinsic value. But if it's a company can just stay really, really undervalued, overvalued for a long time. Let's see. So SoundHound, lots of insider selling. These individuals are probably the CEO or the founder. That's why they own so much stock. That's pretty nice. He owns 4% of the company, and his value is worth $150 million. SoftBank owns 1 million shares. So lots of employees recently, and that's almost guaranteed through acquisition for employee count to go up so much. It's because they acquired another company with a few hundred people in it. Still, not a lot of employees for a $3 billion company, 842 employees. I mean, so what do I think of SoundHound? I do use their service at one of the companies I work at. So let's just understand the company better. There's a voice AI company. It provides voice AI that enables businesses to offer customized conversational experiences to consumers. So if you sell a product, you can use their service to kind of screen people, because if people, even when people buy things, you don't need a live person. Of course, if somebody has specific questions, you may need a live person, but AI can handle a lot of calls these days, and I've 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 talked to AI when I order things before, and most of the time it works fine. Like it's nothing like I would have an issue. I got what I wanted. If it's something really unique, you're having problems logging in and you need to change your credit card. I don't know, that you may require a person, but even AI could do a lot of those things. So SoundHound technology are used in a variety of voice-enabled products and services, primarily in auto, TV, Internet of Things, restaurants. So this gives you an idea of the reach. So it's not just fielding calls from customers. It could be in an EV. If you have a car and it uses SoundHound technology, you can communicate to your car, which does give you kind of comfort if you were to invest in this company. How much can they grow? Because a lot of times you invest in a stock, or you look at a company and you're like, well, what's the reach? Like, how big can it get? And it's kind of easy. If a company sells food, you get it. The reach could be maybe the whole world or a majority of the world, because everybody eats. Obviously, you need a product that a lot of people would eat, but sometimes with these tech companies, you're like, how much? Like a company like Rover, that provides pet food and pet products. You realize the reach is people with pets. You can't just go to. Not everybody will buy the product. You need someone that owns a pet. That's the first barrier. And then, of course, the second barrier is people who are willing to pay for those special products. Not everybody needs a box in the mail every month with pet treats and toys in it, but people like that. That's an interesting company, Rover. I think that's a SPAC also. No, not Rover. What's the name of the company that ships pet boxes every month? They ship a box of dog toys. I used to use it too. Chewy is Bark. Market stuff. Yeah, I mean, everybody has different reach. Like that's why Apple's so successful. The phone, which is kind of replacing PCs, there's so much demand for that, and there's so much need for it. But that's why Microsoft is successful. Yeah, Bark. I like Bark as a customer, and I like the idea, but as an investor, I'm not really huge on it, because, like I said, I mean, 245 million market cap, not a small company. And let's see their revenue. So $500 million of revenue. So a good amount of revenue, right? But you're never going to get to the hundreds of billions of dollars that you could get with a company like AT&T or a company like Meta. It'll never get to that point. And you don't really need Bark. It's just supplemental. They don't sell dog food. They just sell dog boxes. People who want to shower their dog. Do they do? I don't know if they do cats. They probably do. I thought it's dogs or Bark Box. It serves over 2 million dogs through Bark Box and Super Chewer subscriptions. So in 2020, it was acquired by a SPAC. Reverse merger. That's what I was trying to think of before. What did I say? Well, actually, a reverse merger is the reverse of a SPAC. So a SPAC is when a publicly traded shell acquires a private operating entity. Private operating company. So the initial SPAC, the initial publicly traded company, is a shell. It does nothing. It's an empty company. Has no operations, no revenue, nothing. And that shell goes out into the market and acquires an operating company. And then in this case, Bark, well, there's so many SPACs out there. Once the SPAC that acquired Bark, what was the name of the SPAC? What SPAC acquired BarkBox? Northern Star. So Northern Star, which obviously has no meaning to anybody, it's a shell of a company, and people will invest in Northern Star because they want to make money. And once Northern Star acquires a private company, the stock may go up a lot. It usually goes down, actually, because SPACs are bad investments. But so Northern Star, I'll show you. Okay. It's hard to. I wish they would make it easier to look at. But this very beginning line is $10. So right away, after like a month, it went up like almost 70% from 10 to 17. But pretty much everybody lost money on this stock who invested in it. Because what happened was it goes public. Northern Star, the SPAC, acquires BarkBox, the operating company, and right away, within like a few days, it goes up a lot because there's a lot of buying activity in the beginning. And you probably couldn't even get in at $10, even if you wanted to, even if you knew about this. Like it's so hard to you're kind of locked out. You have to wait for the market to open up, and once it opens and you can buy as a retail trader, it's already at 17. I mean, if you did buy it at 17 at the peak, you would have hoped it would have went to like 40, 50, 60, but it didn't. In this case, it just went down. So from that peak, which was almost right off the bat, it never went up again. Of course, there were dips, like it fell to 10 and then it came up. So you could have made money that way. But you can see it's just, what is it, like $1.30. So it's down like 87% from the high. So that's why they're such bad investments. So a reverse merger, this is good to talk about because sometimes I forget like how to explain things. I like to explain things where it's clear, and it gets hard if you haven't looked at something for a while. So reverse merger is when a private company goes public by purchasing control of a public company. So it's the exact opposite So in this case, because if you're a private company, and you want to become public, the easiest way to do it is just to buy another company. Just buy a company that's already public. And you could look for a company that's really not, the stock price is down a lot and it's getting close to going out of business. So you could just acquire that company for a few $1 million just to get the name. And now you become a publicly traded company. And you don't have to deal with all the work of an IPO, which is very expensive. You have to hire an investment bank. You have to pay a lot of fees. So alternatively, BarkBox was, before 2021, was just a company that was private, that was, selling a lot of stuff. It was just a regular private company. Like if you walk to your downtown area, there's a lot of private companies, especially mom and pop stores. If you walk downtown and you go to a Starbucks, that's not private. That's a publicly traded company. But most of the businesses in your hometown are private. So if BarkBox wanted to go public, they could just go into the open market and look for a company that is really low, that the stock price is real low, and just buy it. But the thing is, BarkBox is not, they're not investment bankers at the company BarkBox. They make dog products. They're not into finance and M&As. That's what Northern Star Acquisition Corp. They are finance people. They work on mergers and acquisitions. These are Wall Street people who created this shell company, and that's how. And they approach BarkBox saying, "Do you want to become a publicly traded company?" And of course, BarkBox, the people who started the company are probably excited, like, "Oh my God, we're going to cash in, make millions." And I'm sure they did, but now the company is struggling. Who's done a reverse merger? Examples. So a reverse merger is the opposite of a SPAC. Some people actually say it's the same as SPAC. Example of reverse merger. What companies? And that's a shady way. If a company wants to become public, what companies became public via a reverse merger? I'm sure there was some. I don't. A reverse takeover, which is another way to call it. What are some famous reverse mergers? Arm and Hammer. I guess it's not super common, so that's why. See, it says the reverse merger is among the oldest alternatives to conventional IPO. So to circumvent the IPO process, this is how you become public, just through reverse merger. What is investors of the company acquire a majority of the. Let's see if Investopedia gives examples. Understanding reverse mergers. Disadvantage of reverse merger. A reverse merger can be simpler, but also requires adherence to regulations and due diligence to be successful. So managers must thoroughly vet the investors of the public shell company. It's kind of like buying a house. Say the house across the street is for sale. You want to look to see if there's liens on the property, because, or you want to look in the home. Maybe it's like the kitchen is in bad shape. So you want to know what you're buying. So same thing if you were to acquire a publicly traded company, even a shell company, you want to know what you're acquiring. You might be acquiring a big mess, and it's actually worse for you to do it this way than a traditional IPO. So what other motivations for the merger? So make sure the shell is clean and not tainted. Are there any pending liabilities? Maybe there's a lawsuit against this, because when you acquire a company, even if it's a shell company and hasn't done much business for a while, there could be some pending lawsuits against the company, and you're taking that on. It's kind of like if you were to marry somebody, and that person didn't tell you that they are, maybe they were married in the past, and the person they divorced is collecting alimony from them. So you're taking on that. If whatever liabilities your spouse had, you're kind of taking it on. If they have a bad credit score, you're now you went from a good credit score to now you're combining your credit scores, and it's bad. I like Stellantis. Kohl's, it just Wally Sparks. What's up, Wally? Hey, Dex. It's just such a brutal industry, retail. And it's an industry that has to be around for the rest of eternity. It's not going away. As much as people say, oh, with online, you don't need retail anymore. It'll never be that way. You'll never get a purely online world. There's always going to be a need for retail. People still like to go outside and walk around and visit places. So there's always going to be that demand, and there's going to be people who don't want to use computers. It did get up to 80 in 2018, and now it's coming back down. It's trading at like a 25-year low. Well, no, I mean, technically during COVID, it got down to like 14. So, but it's trading below COVID levels. So yeah, so it's back to its 1997 levels, 28-year low. Both are 4 times book value. Yeah, I mean, I would think it'd be better than 4 times book value, but let's see. Where's the ratios? Okay, here's the price to book. Yeah, it's at 0.2. I think you meant the opposite of 4. It's 0.2 times book value. The reciprocal of book value is trading at 4 times the reciprocal of that. At its worst, it was trading at 2 times book value. Because what 900 million market cap. It's 940 million. And the book value. What do you guys think about Victoria's Secret stock? I saw some insider buys this month. Yeah, I think Kohl's is like catching a falling knife. You could get really lucky and time it right, but I think you could be sitting on this thing for another 15 years and not make any money. I mean, it sure happened to people who bought it in 97. They're back to where they were. Even if you got it at like in 2000 at 50, I mean, you never made much money unless you happen to sell it when you were up like 50% in 2018. Victoria's Secret. Isn't this the company somebody the person who started this company sold it and then he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge? I don't think it was because the company did well. Something, I think that's kind of like a. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It was founded in 1977 by Stanford graduate and his wife, Roy and Gay Raymond, and sold to Lex Wexner in 1982. Wexner rapidly expanded. So Roy Raymond, he founded Victoria's Secret in 1977. He started. So Raymond opened the first Victoria's Secret in Stanford shopping center. Raymond inspired to start Victoria's Secret after feeling embarrassed purchasing lingerie. It's a good name, Victoria's Secret. The company earned $500,000 in its first year, and Raymond started a mail order catalog and opened 3 stores in San Francisco. I don't say San Francisco, I say the city, because that's the city near me. He was involved with Epstein? No. Are you serious? I thought he died well before. Leslie Wexner discovered Raymond's store in the early 80s, described it as unique. Wexner was interested in purchasing Victoria's Secret, who later stated, "When I met him, it was as if he met the devil." 6 months later, the business was headed towards bankruptcy, and Raymond contacted Wexner to discuss a potential sale. So only for $1 million, he sold it for. And it was $6 million of revenue for his 5 stores. For approximately a year after the sale, Raymond stayed on as president. Okay. In 1993, Raymond ended his life by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. He was last seen walking towards the bridge, and hours afterward, his body was found. Investigators concluded that he had jumped over the bridge. He suffered depression from his failing businesses. I'll be right back. 1 minute. So he didn't jump off directly from the success of Victoria's Secret, but I think that contributed to it. The Golden Gate Bridge is the most popular place in the world to commit suicide. I think every 3 days, on average, somebody jumps off the bridge. Something like that. There was a video, a documentary. I think it was on Netflix, maybe. And a guy with a camera just taped the bridge, and you could see people jumping. He did it throughout the year. And he interviewed some people who, some people lived, but interviewed some people's families. It was interesting. It's expensive to put up barriers to stop people from jumping. And even if you put up barriers, people find somebody wants to kill themselves, they'll probably find a way. But I don't think they have those barriers yet. I think they're in the process. Prior to installation of suicide prevention barriers, some would die instantly from internal injuries, while others drown or die. People who have survived a jump have had severe consequences. Yeah, jumping off the bridge, if you land feet first, you might not die. There was a guy, I think it was in that documentary. He would jump off bridges, and of course people would like, he was a big attraction. I think this was like a long time ago, like 1930s something. And but he was like a stunt person, so he knew how to do it. So he would always land feet first and wear certain things so he wouldn't really get hurt. But he did die once because it was really windy one day, and it flipped him around. What did Trow? Oh, T. Rowe Price? That's a hard one to look at. Any finance company or insurance company, it's hard to like look at the numbers and like talk about it. It's not that straightforward. If you take a look at FinViz, top 10% owner insider transactions, the human cannibal, that's it. Yeah, that sounds. The Human Cannibal Act is performance. Oh, that's just the term for these type of people. But I remember the guy who jumped off the bridges. I think his name's Frank Cannibal Richards. Is that him? Frank Cannibal Richards? No, that's just the guy who. Let's see what other. He was involved with Epstein. Planet 13. Is that the retail store in malls? That's cannabis. Planet 13. Okay, I'm thinking of. There's a store with the word planet, right? Like in malls. The cannabis companies, they're just not good investments. It's I mean, when Biden got elected, there was a lot of. Did you guys see it? I have another channel where I scratch off tickets. I won $500 on a scratcher. Let me. You can see the number 38. How come it's not? Okay. You see number 38? It's 5 times 100. It's the most I've ever won on a scratcher. Well, I play so many, so it's not like I'm making money or anything. But yeah, it's just exciting when it happens. I ordered a new camera for my other channel because it's hard to get. It seems like this camera I have it doesn't, the close up to get, it's hard to visually see it when it's close up. Something. Maybe it's old. I don't know. It's probably a setting thing. I'm probably doing something wrong. I don't know. So Pfizer, I'm doing a video on Pfizer, so I'm going to go through that 10K. It seems like Pfizer just can't go up. Like it's really struggling. The yield is now like 7% because the stock price keeps going down. Planet 13, $89 million. There was a cannabis stock that was really popular. I think it's gone out of business now. It was like more like a meme stock. A lot of people buying it. Cannabis stocks. What's the name of that? I'm sure you know about it. I did a bunch of videos on it. Aurora. It's not Aurora. Tilray. I think it's gone bankrupt, the company, or the stock went down a lot. Let's see, DCF. Sundial. Yeah, that had a big SNDL. It's still around. 370 million. So it's not. It's up from when I remember. Well, maybe not. They must have done a reverse stock split because it's trading at its all-time low. In 2022, they did a reverse stock split. I guess they haven't done one since then. Eventually, they're going to do another one, I guess, because I'm sure it's going to go. But look at that. It was at $30. at the peak. Now it's under $2. Yeah, at one point it was, how much is it now? It's $1.55 now. At one point it was lower. I don't think it was ever below $1, at least stock split adjusted. I would just buy tobacco stocks, because lots of tobacco companies are acquiring cannabis companies, so it's kind of the safe bet just to do tobacco because they have pretty consistent revenue. Well, let's see. Palantir, wow, 85. I can't believe how much that's gone up. Damn, I shouldn't have, I sold it. It has come down a lot. Okay. So it's down, it was at 125. So it's down about 30% from that peak. Because I sat on it for a while. It's just, you just don't know. Like, you have your money's tied up for so many years and you just don't, you're like, okay, when am I going to ever make money? Like, if you keep waiting and waiting, soon you're like 80 years old waiting for these stocks to go up. So it is back down to so March 2025. So it's pretty much down to its end of 2024 levels. It was 80 in the end of 2024, and now it's getting back closer to 80. So is there going to be another push for Palantir? I think they're doing okay. Like, they're starting to make money. So their revenue is going up nicely. They do a positive free cash flow, good margins. Positive earnings too. So yeah, they pulled together. I didn't know if they would. I still don't exactly know what they do. Counter-terrorism and big data analytics. Yeah, it's just, what does Palantir do? They do work with the U.S. government a lot, but they also work with public companies like car companies. You know, 60% of its revenue is from the government. So it is really reliant on the government. Okay. Well, I guess it's been an hour. That was a fast hour. Didn't seem like an hour. But okay. Well, thanks for joining. And I'll try to do another live stream next weekend. Okay. Enjoy your week.